Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my first NECA Predator review. This time is of the Ultimate AHAB. Not this time, but the first time it will be of Ultimate AHAB. I'm going to go over some other ones too. I've been collecting Predators off and on for years, but the Ultimate stuff really talks to me. And also, I've been reading a lot more of the comic book stuff. I was a casual movie fan, but now I've been reading the comic books, and I totally recommend you pick up the AHAB stuff that he's in. One of the coolest stories is Fire and Stone. You should definitely pick it up. But anyway, we're going to talk about Ultimate AHAB here, and he is amazing. It uses the Ultimate NECA body for their Predators, and I really enjoy that body because I didn't enjoy the older stuff because it lacked articulation and pivotal points. And even though NECA is more of a excellent sculpt and mid-tier articulation for me, they have gone above and beyond for the Predator stuff and actually a lot of other stuff lately. So I'm really feeling it. Anyway, let's jump into this review. This is him with one of his looks that he has in the series. You can obviously switch it up, and I'll show you guys that in a second. One of the coolest things about AHAB is that he's an elder. Well, his status is that of an elder. And he's just pretty much out here looking for his great trophy. And that's why the Ultimate AHAB is the one you definitely want to get, because it comes with the stuff that's featured in those said stories. Anyway, first thing I want to talk about is the helmet sculpt. The helmet sculpt is really nice. It actually fits over his face as opposed to being a separate head for AHAB. So that's pretty dope. And as you can see, it actually has a scar right over the plate as well, which is really, really cool. As well as where his attacking laser pointer is. This is also really cool because his is on the left-hand side, where most Predators kind of feature theirs on the right. So that's also pretty cool because, he can only see out his left eye. Now, like I said, this mask is actually removable. It's not just a separate head. So you actually can remove the mask and see AHAB's head. And he has closed mandibles, only one eye, which is the left eye, and there's basically scar tissue going over that of the right eye. So he's blinded in one eye and missing a mandible as well. But even with all that going on, AHAB is still of a great hunter who goes out and pretty much destroys a ton of enemies. So this is actually pretty cool. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off the head. Just going to rotate that off. And the reason why that is because I want to take off his cloak, so we can talk about what's going on with the cloak as well as the rest of the body. I want to go over the cloak real fast. So I'm starting from head to toe. The cloak is a nice red fabric cloth. It's held over by a string. It is not posable, but that doesn't mean it's not very nice. It is a very nice touch, especially for that of AHAB. I think he definitely deserves it. As far as the body, it is a standard Ultimate body. And because I'm new to this, I'm actually pretty much blown away by the fact that NECA's come really far. They kept some components that kept it great and added newer ones to make it even better. As you can see, it almost seems seamless at the torso, but he indeed does have upper articulation. It doesn't seem like a lot, especially for AHAB, but it does come in handy for when you want to pose. Over here, you have Bicep Swivel. You have an arm that rotates this far up, and it rotates all the way around with no issue. The arms are double jointed, but you have to be careful. Eye toes to heat mine up because the plastic is actually pretty strong. So strong that if you try to go against it with too much resistance, you'll rip the plastic apart. The hand actually has a nice hinge joint, so that way when you pull up the wrist blades, you can actually slash your opponents, which is very, very nice. Over here on the left-hand side, because of the components that add to the arm, you lose a bit of articulation here. You still have your swivel, but you don't want to go too far and pop this or break it. I tend to always do this with my other Predators. I'm trying not to do it with AHAB, but you don't want to push him too far to the limit. You can actually rotate it up because it's double jointed as well. He also has the component for the Self-Destruct Device here in his left arm. As I lift it up, as you can see here, it's nice. There's no light up display, obviously, but if you want, you can actually put little decals in there with Predator language, which is really dope. Now, as far as leg articulation go, leg goes up about this far. It actually can go a little further. I want to cut this so that it moves up just a little bit more because the loincloth in the back actually stunts his articulation just a bit. Goes out about this far. Actually, goes really a lot further. But again, the little loincloth is actually hindering it a bit. But otherwise, he has great articulation going around with the leg. The leg is actually double jointed as well, as you can see here. You can rotate it down here. You can rotate a little bit because there's thigh swivel as well. The foot articulation is actually pretty nice. It's a nice solid foot, and it gives you the nice range you want for AHAB when you want to go and do certain poses, especially that of crouching down like this. I wish I could do a little bit more, but after a little bit of modding, I'm sure he'll be a lot better. The ab articulation is actually pretty nice because that was a big fault of previous Predator stuff. It's one of those things where without that, you can get simple crouching poses, which for me is very important because if you want to do just the simple stuff, this is what you want to do. You know what I mean? I was able to achieve this very easily, but on the older stuff, this is not possible. Meanwhile, on the Ultimate body, it looks pretty easy to do. You know what I mean? As you can see here, you can get them in a nice Predator-like pose. For people who like their Predator standing straight up, I think that's totally fine. But for me, I need just a little bit more. So all in all, this looks really cool. The skull piece is actually done very nice with the necklace. This is of that of the creatures that actually he lost one of his eyes to in a previous story. And he ripped out their arms because I believe they had 4 arms, if I remember correctly. He ripped out their arms and then one attacked from behind and took his eye. So he kept it as a emblem of those that were worthy, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're going to jump to some other accessories that AHAB comes with. I'm going to leave him in a cool pose like this so you can see what's going on. AHAB comes with another wrist gauntlet. This one features 3 blades. What you do is you kind of just pull the one up on the right side. This one features 3 blades that you can actually just interchange in and out. You can do it on that one as well. But these one is really nice. I just like the look of this one a lot better. I should have left that one on. You have your standard Predator Smart Disc. His is a nice gold one, which doesn't look like a full circle, but comes out in 2 pieces. You can actually use it on his right hand. Then you get the standard Predator backpack. This backpack has the plasma blaster. So this is really cool. To do that, what you do is you attach it at the back. You go up to the bottom piece and over the shoulder. And it's going to lock into the outermost right hand side piece. And voila, now you have his plasma blaster on. But I'm going to take that back off so we can get to the other stuff. Next up, you have his Combi Stick. His Combi Stick is more like a lance as opposed to a 2-sided stick, which is pretty cool. It has a lance part at the end for cleaving and destroying his enemies. In Fire and Stone, you see a lot more of this when he impales his enemies, which is pretty cool. Next up, you have the Engineer's Weapon. Well, the Engineer's Gun, I should say. I don't want to call it just a normal weapon, but you have the Engineer's Gun. This can be held by other human characters if you have any Marines or anything like that, or any Predator that has weapon-holding hands. So this shouldn't be an issue. It also comes with the Engineer's Skull, which is his trophy that he takes after he's ripping his skull out after he defeats an engineer with the help of a companion. Next up, we have the 2 hands that AHAB comes with. This is for holding the Engineer's Weapon. This is for holding his Combi Stick or any other weapon at that, as well as maybe the Engineer's Skull, depending on how you want to do it. Most of the time, the open hand right here on the right can hold the Engineer's Skull very easily. So you have 2 hands for holding weapons as well. Last but not least, you get 1 tiny piece here that attaches onto his backpack. I mean, sorry, not his backpack, but his back. And you slide this in case you want it to hold other things, like the Combi Stick, right? Or if you want it to hold anything else for that matter, any other Predator-like weapons. Because I believe this clip also holds this as well. Yep. So, there you have it. I'm going to leave that clip in for now. Now, I'm going to compare him to some other lines as well as things that you might want to go with it, depending on like crossover stuff that you want to do and things like that. The Predator stuff is actually really, really large, which is really dope. I like their scaling, their size. It's supposed to be big and imposing. Unless you're shorty in the Dark Horse universe, then you're about an average human size. But most Predators stand about 7 to 9 feet tall. So yeah, there he is right there, looking pretty cool. The first thing I want to do is I want to compare him to the Monster Odds version of Wolf Predator. So you can see that even though the Wolf Predator is big with other imports compared to AHAB and the NECA stuff, he is tiny. He's shorty size. Like, he's just a tiny Predator. So I just want to make sure you guys see that. Next up, you can compare him to Hornhead, which is featured in one of the books. So here he is next to Hornhead Predator. The ultimate version of Hornhead as well, might I add. He's also, let me just compare him also to the NECA Alien Warrior, which is also tiny compared to these guys, but will look cool for his articulation or getting murdered, but not in terms of height. And here he is next to a Xenomorph, well, the alien still, but this one is the ultimate one from NECA, so you can see their size compared to him. So as you can see, the alien or Xenomorph It's pretty big. Even standing straight up, he has a nice size height over him. Next up, we're going to compare the other lines and things like that. Just in case you want to do some crazy crossover stuff, some Dark Horse feature stuff. Here he is next to the Mafex Robocop. And as you can see, Robocop is tiny next to Predator, but that doesn't mean it can't be cool, right? You know? Totally forgot to bring my dread out for this, but yeah. Here he is next to an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider. Should you feel cool to do some crossover stuff? Here he is next to a Synthetic Human, which actually fits the narrative for the Predators and Xenomorph stuff really, really well. So Synthetic Human actually fits in here really well. He's small, but again, synthetics and robots, that's a big thing for this lore. Here he is next to a smaller Mythic Legion that I want to compare to in case you want to do your classic Knights of the Round stuff or like a Predator traveling back to medieval Earth. Here he is next to a bigger Mythic Legion. So as I say, I think NECA is probably one of the tallest scale lines I have right now outside of Storm Collectibles. Next up, we have a Articulated Icons Ninja, which are probably going to be the victims of a lot of Predators. Here he is next to a Marvel Legend Spider-Man. And last but not least, a Mezco. So size-wise, I don't think anything's going to be the Predator besides the Storm Collectibles. But the bulkiness might throw off your photo, but I think it worked pretty well. All in all, I like AHAB. I plan on doing some cool photos with it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and you found it informative. In the meantime, guys, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.